All right, guys, so a common question that I've been getting is, Connor, what do you mean by ego? And that's a good question because one of the first concepts that you must understand to get on the path to enlightenment is ego. Now, this concept can be hard to grasp for a lot of people because the ego is literally all they know. And how we use the word in society today gets us pretty confused. Many people think that egotistical is synonymous with arrogant. And yes, while identifying with your ego is a type of arrogance because it's like you think you know who you are when you actually have no idea, being egotistical goes far beyond that. Being egotistical means that you identify who you are based on only surface level concepts. The ego is the false self. You think that you know what makes you, you, but you don't. That's egotistical. So the false self, the ego, is what you think makes you, you. So think to yourself, what distinguishes me from everyone else? Well, you'd probably say something like your thoughts, your memories, your personality, your behaviors. That's what you think makes you, you. That's the ego. The combination of everything you think makes you, you. Well, think of where all these aspects of you came from. They weren't always there. Which means that you weren't always you. You acquired all of these traits over time. None of these things you had when you were first born. Societal constructs and norms shaped your personality and behaviors. Your experience in society gave you these memories. You didn't choose the family that raised you. You didn't get to choose many of the experiences that you've had. They were simply given to you throughout life. And the combination of all these things that were given to you throughout this thing that we call life forms a cluster of thoughts known as the ego. So you have all these thoughts in your mind, how you're supposed to act, your memories, your past experiences, societal constructs, all these different things that are just thought. And if all of these things were given to you, if you didn't always have all of these things, well, how can that make you you? Who is the you to which all these things were given? Well, that's the true you. The ego has just been given to you. A you was there before this ego developed. Who was there before you had memories, before you had a personality, before you had thoughts, before you behaved in a certain way? Well, that's actually you. A you that is infinite. A you that is forever. A you that is literally the universe. A you that is God. The ego just tricks you into believing that you are only the ego. That you're just a temporary individual self comprised of these thoughts and behaviors. This is the falseness that we have to overcome to end our suffering. The ego is the cause of all mental suffering. It makes us think that the self is all we are and is all we'll ever have. When we think this self is all that we will ever have, and then the experience of the self isn't going exactly how you planned it or how you want it to go, well, that's where suffering comes from. Thinking that you are the ego is like a tree thinking that it is a leaf. It's insanity. It's delusional. It is completely detached from reality. But that's the world we live in. A world completely detached from reality. A world who thinks people like me should be put in a psych ward when they're the one who is in a psychosis. We live in a world that is arrogant enough to believe that their reality is reality simply because science, something created by the ego itself, tells them it is. If you look at the individual science of a leaf, well, that science only shows you the understanding of the leaf. But does that mean that there's not a tree attached to it? Of course not. The ego hides the fact that we are the tree. The ego makes us completely forget this and makes us believe that we are only the leaf. And when the life of the leaf doesn't go perfectly, that's when we suffer. If there's a nicer leaf next to us, we suffer. If an ant comes along and takes a bite out of the leaf, we suffer because we think that we lost a part of ourselves. The entire time that we're the leaf, we're dreading the fact that one day we're going to fall to the ground and wither away. We've forgotten that we can simply grow back another leaf. We never were the leaf. We simply had our awareness focused on the leaf. Well, if we direct our focus beyond the leaf through spiritual practice such as meditation, we begin to wake up and realize that we were never the leaf. We were the tree the whole time. And it's this giant WTF moment. You can't believe that you forgot that you are the tree. So that's the goal. Recognize and reduce the power of the ego so you can wake up and realize that you were the tree the whole time. And then, being the leaf becomes much more enjoyable.